Hi, it's Mrs. Wilson, your reading specialist, and I'm here today to share a book with you. And I also have my daughter Abigail with me. She's 8, she's in 3rd grade like some of you. And I picked this book because the kids in this book use their imagination. And I was thinking about that we've been home a lot, doing our schoolwork, right, reading, but also using our imagination and having some playtime. So I hope that you are able to use your imagination at home, and if not, maybe this book will give you some ideas. So Roxaboxen is by Alice McLaren and it's illustrated by Barbara Cooney. Marion called it Roxaboxen. She always knew the name of everything. There across the road it looked like a rocky hill, nothing but sand and rocks, some old wooden boxes, cactus and greasewood and thorny ocotillo, but it was a special place. The street between Roxaboxen and the houses curved like a river, so Marion named it the River Road. After that you had to ford a river to reach Roxaboxen. Of course, all of Marion's sisters came, Anna May and Frances and little Jean, Charles from next door, even though he was 12, oh, and Eleanor, naturally, and Jamie and his brother Paul. Later on there were others, but these were the first. Well, not really the first. Roxaboxen had always been there and must have belonged to others long ago. When Marion dug up a tin box filled with round black pebbles, everyone knew what it was, a buried treasure. Those pebbles were the money of Roxaboxen. You could still find others like them if you looked hard enough. So some days became treasure hunting days, with everybody trying to find that special kind. And then on other days, you might just find one without even looking. A town of Roxaboxen began to grow, traced in lines of stone. Main Street first, edged with the whitest ones, and then the houses. Charles made his of the biggest stones. After all, he was the oldest. At first the houses were very plain, but soon they all began to add more rooms. The old wooden boxes could be shelves or tables or anything you wanted. You could find pieces of pottery for dishes. Round pieces were best. So take a look at their town they've made. Pretty cool. Later on, there was a town hall. Marion was mayor, of course. That's just the way she was. Nobody minded. And she's even got a little sign that says mayor. After a while, they added other streets. Frances moved to one of them and built herself a new house outlined in desert glass, bits of amber, amethyst, and sea green. A house of jewels. And she even has welcome in front of her house.
And because everybody had plenty of money, there were plenty of shops. Jane held Anna May in the bakery, helped Anna May in the bakery, pies and cakes and bread warmed in the sun. There were 2 ice cream parlors. Was Paul's ice cream the best or Eleanor's? Everybody kept trying them both. In Roxaboxen, you can eat all the ice cream you want. Everybody had a car. All you needed was something round for a steering wheel. Of course, if you broke the speed limit, you had to go to jail. The jail had cactus on the floor to make it uncomfortable, and Jamie was the policeman. Annie May, quiet little Annie May, was always speeding. You'd think she'd like to go to jail. But if you had a horse, he would go as fast as wind. There were no speed limits for horses, and you didn't have to stay on the roads. All you needed for a horse was a stick and some kind of bridle, and you could gallop anywhere.
My dog's here too, you might hear him growling. Sometimes there were wars. Once there was a great war, boys against girls. Charles and Marion were the generals. The girls had Fort Irene, and they were all Girl Scouts. The boys made a fort at the other end of Roxaboxen, and they were all bandits. Oh, the raids were fierce, loud with whooping and the stamping of hooves, horses. The whirling swords of Octilio had sharp thorns, but when you reached your fort, you were safe. Roxaboxen had a cemetery in case anyone died. The only grave in it was for a dead lizard. Each year when the cactus bloomed, they decorated the grave with flowers. And the sign says, lizard. Sometimes in the winter, when everybody was at school and the weather was bad, no one went to Roxaboxen at all for weeks and weeks. But it didn't matter. Roxaboxen was always waiting. Roxaboxen was always there. And spring came and the ocotillo blossomed, and everybody sucked the honey from its flowers, and everybody built new rooms, and everybody decided to have jeweled windows. That summer there were 3 new houses on the east slope and the 2 new shops on Main Street. And so it went. The seasons changed and the years went by. Roxaboxen was always there. The years went by and the seasons changed until at last the friends had all grown tall, and one by one they moved away to other houses, to other towns. So you might think that was the end of Roxaboxen, but oh no, because none of them ever forgot Roxaboxen. None of them ever forgot. Years later, Marion's children listened to stories of that place and fell asleep dreaming dreams of Roxaboxen. Gray-haired Charles picked up a black pebble on the beach and stood holding it, remembering Roxaboxen. More than 50 years later, Frances went back and Roxaboxen was still there. She could see the white stones bordering Main Street, and there where she had built her house, the desert glass still glowed. Amethyst, amber, and sea green. And it's hard to see, but you can see the white stones in that picture. And then there's an author's note at the back. On a hill in the southeast corner of 2nd Avenue and 8th Street in Yuma, Arizona, there is a place once known as Roxaboxen. The events in this book really happened to Alice McLaren's mother. So she's the author, and this is her mother's story. With the aid of her mother's childhood manuscript, the memories of relatives and letters and maps from the former inhabitants of Roxaboxen, Alice McLaren was able to recreate the magical world as if she had played there herself. She presents us with a celebration of the active imagination, of the ability of children to create, even with the most unpromising materials, a world of fantasy so real and multidimensional that it earns a lasting place in memory. So I hope you all enjoyed Roxaboxen. It's one of my favorites, and I hope we see you soon. Bye.